Greetings, Earthlings. How's it going, Justice Warriors? It's Monday. It's August 14th. Wow. Holy smokes. I don't know about you, but yesterday was a hard anniversary for me with the Watts case and it being 5 years. I'll tell you a story about that after I ask you to please hit your thumbs up button and share, subscribe, ring your notification bell. Don't forget to work hard and stay humble. All my subliminal messages and not so subliminal. So, yeah, the weekend was really rough. I guess I kind of disassociated, honestly. And on Saturday, I thought it was the 13th, and I couldn't wait for the day to be over. And then I was like, oh, phew, it's over, no drama. And then I realized, wait, nope, it was the 12th. So, yesterday, I just held my breath the whole day. I mean, I did all kinds of fun stuff, but for me, the Watts case is extremely triggering. And right now, I think it's extremely triggering because it's so abundantly obvious that there could be a prime suspect still at large, still roaming free, like a complete potential danger to society. So, one of the reasons that I think that that is so abundantly obvious and apparent, and let me just say right here, everything I say is simply my opinion, simply for the sake of conversation. I'm always hoping to talk well, and to open up a discussion, to learn something, to be educational. And all my videos are made specifically for YouTube. That's an entertainment platform. So, yeah, let me grab some water real quick because I'm getting the cotton mouth already. Um, yeah, it's not about vindictiveness towards any suspects. It's about safety. It's about justice for the victims. It's about preventing any potential repeat, in my opinion. So, what I started to say is that one of the most apparent reasons for me that I feel like there's still a suspect at large in the Watts case is one tape, one videotape that's 3 hours and 33 minutes. I posted it in my community feed a few days ago, but I'll go ahead and put the link in the description of this video. And the only one I was able to find on YouTube, I think it's from Quirt TV, but we got to give all the credit to Paula Plunder. She had requested that videotape numerous times. So she finally got it. 3 years into this process of relentless persistence, she didn't think she would. I certainly didn't think she would, but she didn't give up. And she got that tape. And the day she posted it on her page, I believe was the same day Frankie Rusak, if I'm saying that last name right, Shanann's brother, he posted it on his page, and it's still there on his page, I believe. And pretty much it set the internet ablaze, in my opinion. And there's so much good work being done with that having been released. One of the best things that I've seen recently, I'll also put a link to in the description here. I think I put it in one of my descriptions last week. It's called Behind the Crimes. And this content creator says that they discovered that NK had an arrest when she was 16 years old for a violent act with a knife, and that it was sealed because she was a minor. I don't know if that's true. The reason I'm bringing it up again is because I'm hoping that we can all dig and see if that is actually true, because that's pretty huge. We know that she was arrested for unruly behavior, but, you know, I think she was 19 and it wasn't like a violent crime. But still, disregard for authority and obstructing justice, that's pretty serious. And if someone's going to do that when they're 19, it kind of sets the stage for their adult life, in my opinion, possibly. So, let's see, where are we at? It was also, as you guys know, we're kind of in the 1 year anniversary of the time frame from when Kylie Rodney was missing, August 6th, until she was allegedly found in Prosser Reservoir on August 21st. So, the Watts case being right there in the middle. And then I misquoted that the Idaho 4 case was 9 months on the 13th yesterday, but I said 10 months. It's actually 9 months. You guys knew that, right? I can't do math. Sometimes I can, but not always. I definitely can't take it for granted, especially with months, because it's like, well, do you count the first day being the beginning of the next month, or is that just a day? And, anyway. Um, so I want to talk about Kylie Rodney. I've been reviewing the videotapes that Ara and Squirrels on Fire have made over the last several days. And I'm going to put those links in too. I know sometimes I put a lot of links in my descriptions, but I'm just going to put the two for Shanda's last lives because one of her lives got struck and then she had to edit it and put it in the unalive section. Um, that's the last video that was just dropped earlier today. And then her last long live is one that Ryan Upchurch joined her on. And it sounds like when Upchurch comes onto her panel, that it really increases the traffic of the trollers. So that's not surprising, right? Anyway, she's doing great work. She's just honing in on the holes in the cheese. That's how I first found her channel was a live she did called There's Holes in Your Cheese, Bro, and it was really cute. And she had a whole new theory that she has since abandoned, but it was an interesting theory that maybe the kids in Truckee were covering for the adults in Truckee. And maybe in a sense they are. But as far as the potential of a crime against Kylie, and personally, I believe that there was crimes committed against Kylie. I think that those were committed, hopefully, not by the adults, but possibly. But I'm thinking more the minors, the people that she trusted, the people that she thought were her friends. Could be both. It could be anything. To quote Sammy Iammi, all ideas are still open in the air right now. That girl said a lot of weird things. That was one of them in that Tony Dodge interview. All ideas are still open in the air right now. And I'd say, other than car accident, in my opinion, all ideas are still open in the air right now because we don't have the answers. And we've got this ridiculous excuse for the situation, putting the blame or the responsibility back on the victim that this was a single car accident. And I don't think it was. I don't think that the people that found her in the car in the reservoir, I don't think that they believe that it was an accident. I don't believe that her father or grandfather believed that it was an accident. In fact, I don't believe anybody in Truckee thinks it was an accident. It's my opinion that this is like a big community secret and everyone's keeping a sock in it. So that's my opinion. I'm allowed to have an opinion. But one of the weirdest things that Miss Sammy Smith said when she said so many weird things in that interview with Tony Dodge was she said, I was never severely looking at her car, or I hadn't looked at her car that severely. And it was when she then talked about the ram, the bull with horns, the sticker on the back. Really bizarre. Who looks at a car severely? Like, I think that was another brain leak. And I always like to bring up Armchair Detective and give him credit for coining that phrase because it's just hilarious. Something severe happened. Something severe happened. No one says I wasn't looking that severely at someone's car. That's bizarre. That's bizarre. So, Um, in the video that Shan put up today, the one that had the strike from Saturday Night Live, um, for using a little clip out of that, there's a news interviewer speaking with Doug from AWP about his discovering Ms. Kylie Rodney in the cargo area of the vehicle in the water. And that news interviewer is really pushing for accident. It's extremely obvious and it's strikingly odd, as if they have an investment in it being an accident, that they prefer accident. When, of course, in a sense, I'd say we all would prefer that it was an accident because nobody wants to think that kids or people that you thought were your friends could be so dark and creepy and disgusting and horrible as that whole situation is, if it is, in fact, something like that that took her life. Um, but the intimidating witnesses of the Kylie Rodney case or of any case, the intimidation of witnesses is a crime. That's illegal. That's interfering with an investigation. That's obstruction of justice. But it also is evidence that the person doing the intimidating is either hired or trying to suppress that information that that witness has for some reason, whether they're being paid by somebody or they've been asked, requested by somebody to do that, or if they're doing it on their own accord. Either way, it's evidence that there's something to hide, in my humble opinion. So, um, I don't think it's my opinion that when roadside assistance guy got that call to Boca to Kylie Rodney's vehicle, and it's a question of who the male and the female were with the vehicle. It's my opinion that it was not Kylie, that Kylie was already injured, severely injured, gravely injured, and that that was one of her frenemies. And I don't know who the guy was. In my opinion, it still could be either of her two ex-boyfriends, or it could be someone else altogether. We don't know. I think Nick probably knows. I think AWP probably knows. And these people are not talking, as they should not. If this is under investigation, and apparently it still is with the California Highway Patrol until they get their report finished. And once that report is finished, it should be available for anybody who makes a public records request with a simple email. So we'll see what happens with that. But man, this case to me reeks of, I'm not going to say this word right, Lake Chappaquiddick, with Kennedy, Ted Kennedy, and the blonde secretary. To me, this case reeks of that. I know R was comparing it to some of the Murdoch uh, tragedies, and I think that's also accurate. But this is nothing new. This is nothing new. And people's remains ending up in bodies of water, nothing new. And it being looked at as an accident or self-inflicted or whatever, just not investigated appropriately. That's a real mobster type of thing, you guys. That's a real mobster type of thing. And I think it's important here to inject the memory of Jägermaestro saying, "Does this get me into the Truckee Mafia?" in one of his texts. Um, and I want to talk about Nick G, who is the roadside assistance guy. And when he was talking with AWP in the parking lot of Best Buy, and he's describing his experience, and that once he saw the poster, the missing person flyer in the coffee shop, like a week after the call to Boca, he said something to the effect of, and then things spiraled out of control. And again, I'm wanting to put credit where credit is due for Shanda in the video that she just dropped today. Um, and she basically says this. So I'm kind of parroting, but also adding my thoughts to it because that's always struck me. Like, what does he mean things spiraled out of control? Is that when he started getting intimidated by people? What does spiraling out of control mean? I think that's very revealing. Um, so I don't feel like I have any of the answers with this case or some other cases. I feel like I have a lot of questions, and I just want to be specific about that, that I don't think I've got any more answers than anyone else, but you've got to question these things. And that silly old fashioned adage, the proof is in the pudding, I like to say the answer is in the question. You wouldn't be asking the question if it wasn't a thing. So, like to say, I wonder if I should be scared of my ex-boyfriend after we break up. Like, you wouldn't be asking yourself that question, or you wouldn't be asking your friend that question if it wasn't a possibility. So, just paying attention to stuff like that. Um, but man, this Watts case is just sickening. I hope that people that are familiar with the Watts case that have not seen the series called Unmasking NK, I hope that people will watch that again. I'm going to put links to that in my description. So I'm not going to put all the links I mentioned. I think I'll put the first one that I mentioned, which is the Behind the Crimes. I'll put Shanda's two videos, and then I'll put one of the Unmasking NK. So sorry if I said there was another one that I'd put in there that I'm not going to, just because that's going to be five already or four. Anyway, it's a lot. And I hope that people use those links. Yes, I am going to put five because I'm going to put what I just said, and then I'm going to put that Court TV one that I posted on my community page a few days ago. Because if you've paid attention to this Watts case and you have not seen that video, or even if you have seen that video, I think we all learn so much when we review videos more than once. And this is what investigators do. This is why they audio tape and videotape interviews, because they do exactly what us true crime YouTube and sleuths do, if you want to call us that. They listen to it again and again. They listen to it in slow motion. They listen to it maybe in a faster speed. They do a lot of different things, but they listen to it again and again. And it's extremely revealing. We all take in so much information in a split second, and we miss so much information in a split second. So you catch different things at different times, just like if you're watching a movie more than once or reading a book more than once, it will hit you differently each time. So I think there's a lot of value to that. I want to thank you guys so much for supporting my channel, and I just love coming on here and connecting with my peeps. You know that I am a trained art therapist. I used to be a registered art therapist, but that's what got me into the field of psychology. And my very first professional convention was a coalition of the expressive arts convention in Washington, D.C. in 1990. And, there's dance therapy, there's music therapy, there's poetry therapy. What else? There's all kinds of expressive arts therapy. But one of them that I thought was so bizarre was video therapy. And I saw one presentation on video therapy, and it just blows my mind that I feel like that's what I've been doing with my YouTube channel. Um, you guys know I've got my own childhood trauma with someone poisoning me and my sister with carbon monoxide. and almost successfully taking us off this earth. I was 11 years old, and it happened in Arizona. And this is something that, it's a post-traumatic stress disorder. It's one of the things that has contributed to making me want to be in the field that I'm in and specializing in post-traumatic stress, which is something that I'm considered an expert in. Personally, I don't think that I'm an expert in anything. So, but I've provided witness testimony and been a bona fide certified expert. And, I just, I, the reason that I like to be really humble about it is because I'm constantly learning so much about it. And I think that we all are. And I think, as soon as you feel like you've done it, you've accomplished your healing process, and you've learned everything that you need to learn, that's when you get clobbered. That's when something brand new rolls around, like maybe the 50th anniversary of that event. That'll be coming up in 5 years for me. And again, anniversaries are huge. It's kind of like watching the movie again. You just see it differently. And every time you tell your story, you tell it differently. Every single time anybody tells their story, they're going to get some cathartic value from it, in my opinion. And it's really important to talk about these things. I like to say any problem isn't really a problem if you can talk about it, then you're working on the solution. It's only a problem if you can't talk about it. So that's my little soapbox thing for today. What else? I just think you guys are the greatest. Thank you so much. I'm going to wrap it right here. Um, have a great rest of your Monday. I hope that you're drinking your agua and getting your exercise, eating well, getting your rest, being kind to yourself, being kind to others, playing with kittens or animals or babies or kids or something. It's really important to just relax and just be in the moment. I mean, I know everybody knows this, but we all need to be reminded. I know I do. So anything I say, I'm really just trying to remind myself. On that, peace out. Have a great afternoon. Sending you light and love. See you on the next one. Take care.